Hi, I am Michelle, this is Ruby Rubenstein, and we will bake Rye Spelt Potato Sourdough bread today. You will need Rye Sourdough Starter, Spelt Sourdough Starter, 250 grams of boiled russet potato, Spelt Flour, Rye Flour, bread flour, some natural sea salt, soy milk, organic walnuts, and herbs. That's it, and water. We are gonna measure everything in grams today, so make sure you have a kitchen scale that can display grams accurately. Mix 50 grams of Rye Starter with 50 grams of Rye Flour and add 50 milliliters of water, or 50 grams of water. Repeat the same steps and measurements with the Spelt Starter. Now let these babies rest for 2 hours. Now measure out 90 grams of walnuts, 12 grams of sea salt, and I'm adding a few teaspoons of these dried herbs that I have, but you can leave them out. If you like, give it a stir and put aside. And now we are gonna take care of the potatoes. Add them to a bowl like so, along with 200 grams of soy milk. I use my immersion blender here, but you can also use a regular blender. Mine just doesn't work that well. Keep mixing until you have a nice liquid. Let's measure out some flour. 250 grams of bread flour, 120 grams of spelt flour, and 95 grams of rye flour. Now go ahead and add the walnuts, salt, and herbs, both of the starters, and the potato. I am going to be kneading this in my stand mixer.
Ouch!
However, you can totally do this by hand too. I just have one because I really bake bread all the time. Yeah, it was kind of tough on my hands, so after 3 years I decided to get a stand mixer. I like to start on the lowest setting of my stand mixer so the flour doesn't fly around in my kitchen. Then after a minute or so I increase the speed and I keep kneading it until it reaches this consistency, which is probably around 5 minutes, 6 minutes. If you're kneading this by hand, knead it for a full 10 minutes, I would say. Now let the dough rest for 1 hour and 15 minutes. Okay, so this part is important. When the time is up, you gotta fold your dough so the gluten can develop properly. Take one side of the dough and stretch it like so. Then fold it, then turn the bowl 180 degrees around. Repeat that step with that side of the dough. And once you're done with that, you're gonna do that with the two sides that are left. Stretch one side and then turn the bowl and stretch the other side. At this point, you can let the dough rest for another 3 to 4 hours or overnight in the fridge. Preheat your oven to 485 degrees Fahrenheit. Now it's time to bake. We are going to be forming 6 mini loaves. I'm just kind of eyeballing it here, but you can measure it out accurately if you prefer that. Also, if you prefer baking one big loaf, I'm going to write in the description box below how you can do that. I just prefer eating them this way because you get a lot of crust. And I just throw them in my freezer like that and it's great. Now rub them into the flour, like so. And score them in the middle like that with a knife. Some people draw like fancy patterns in them. I've never done that, but you can try. Put them in the oven for 35 minutes. By the way, I remember when I was a kid and whenever I read a story about some king throwing their prisoner into jail and saying, oh, we're only gonna give you bread and water for the rest of your life, I was always thinking to myself, that sounds amazing, like I want to be in jail in the medieval times. I eat bread every day. I think I will be eating bread every day for the rest of my life. That's how much I love bread. Bread is ready! Don't they look amazing? Seriously, I love that golden brown color. So good. Wowza. For my ultimate taste test, I just wanted to give you some topping inspirations. Here the classic avocado toast, and I like to put the spice on it. Kala namak, it's an Indian spice that gives everything an eggy taste, and cayenne pepper. Here I am using a buttery spread that I made out of sweet potato and tofu, but I'll be showing you some other time how I did that. It's good though. I am topping this with some homemade seitan deli slices and some cream cheese that I made out of tofu and cashews. Get ready for some ASMR, my friends. Bye.